What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Y'all, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. And boy, is it glorious. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you all had a very awesome and productive week. Yeah, we reached the end of it, and now it is time to sit back and talk about some women's hoops. Now, guys, for the last 2 days, I have done deep dives, like deep dives. One was was on the media rights deal, media rights deal for the WNBA. The other was yesterday on Unrivaled and talking all things Unrivaled. Now, guys, those took a lot out of me, a whole lot out of me. So I was like, you know what? Let's bring back Friday, awesome people of the internet Friday hangout, and let's just relax, talk. Well, yes, I'll be sharing news and information with y'all and whatnot, but this is going to be a whole lot more chill than the other two games were, because yeah. Those were a lot. those were quite a lot. Okay. All right. So today on the docket, we got talk about the Olympics, the Olympic opening ceremony, some new details about Team USA for women's basketball, the 5-on-5 team. I got some talk about Australia and what is happening with one of their star players. We're going to talk also about some news that Diana Taurasi has shared with the folks about what's happening with her in the next 4 years. And guys, we have some Chicago Sky talk to talk about. The Chicago Sky did unveil a new unveil plans for a new practice facility. And Riakia Jackson signed a shoe deal we're going to talk about. And then finally, we are going to talk about the return of women's college basketball, which is happening in only 100 days. So pretty awesome stuff to talk about, guys. Guys, I see someone asking about Mr. President. Yeah, that Mr. President is sitting on my couch right now. He is sitting on the couch right now. All right, let's see what y'all got to say. Jakari, hello. Hope you're doing well. Jakari says, "How are you doing, Quita?" I am doing great. A little tired, but great. Says, "How was your day?" My day was good. It was good. You should go live for all WNBA games, especially my Sparks. Jakari, that is a no-go. That is not possible at all. So take that out your mind, Jakari. Can't do it because I have a job. All right. I have a job, and yeah, it's no way. It's no way I could do all WNBA games. Can't even do all Sky games. So it's no way I can do all WNBA games. All right. But I appreciate that you rocking with me for those lives though. Jakari says, I feel like we don't talk about them enough. The Sparks. Well, we'll talk about them a little bit today. But yeah, you're right. You're right in general. Yeah, you're right. There's so much to talk about with the WNBA and women's basketball in general that yes, there's going to be narratives that are not talked about that should be talked about. Absolutely. What's up, Paris? Hope you are doing well. William says this will be the first time I've ever caught her starting one of her live streams. Well, congratulations, William. shout out to you, because yeah, usually you're joining throughout the stream, and I appreciate you for rocking. So whether or not you at the beginning, the middle, or the end, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Rena? Hope you're doing well. What's up, KA? What's up, Zola? Yes, Lindy, it is Olympic Friday. Yes. Doug says flannel weather already in Chicago. No, it's not. And to be honest with you, I was like, oh crap. I gotta. I wanted to wear something with sleeves, but then I saw this, and I was like, I haven't worn this in a while. Let me put this on. But actually, it's actually getting really, really toasty. So I think I'm actually take the flannel off. Guys, it is nowhere near flannel weather. I don't even know how hot it is outside right now, but it's Yeah, it is a little bit too hot for that. That is a dog on the couch. That is Mr. President. Yeah, that's here. Let me move the camera over a little bit. That's Mr. President, guys. He is sleeping. He is sleeping. All right. All right, guys. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Okay. So, first, guys, question in the chat. Did you all watch the Olympic ceremony, opening ceremony? Did you all watch that? I had it on mute. I had it on mute for the whole thing. Well, and occasionally I would look up because I was working, so occasionally I would look up and I would see what's happening, and I would look back down and finish working. But guys, what did y'all think about the Olympics? Okay, we're gonna talk about the Olympics. Okay, let's talk about the Olympics. All right, so the Olympic opening ceremony happened today, and Coco Gauff and LeBron James were the flag bearers. So usually I don't talk about anything that's not related to women's basketball, but I thought it was kind of cool. You know, I do have a U.S. bias, of course, and so I did want to talk about this. So they were the flag bearers today. LeBron, he has followed a very cool line of other basketball players who have carried the flag for Team USA, including Don Staley, who previously held a flag, held the flag for the opening ceremony. So yeah. You know, Don Staley, you know, when you talk about random stuff in history, Don Staley's probably in there doing something. All right, so yeah, they were the people who were holding the flag for Team USA. Now, the thing to note, guys, let me know in the chat what y'all thought about this opening ceremony. Please let me know, because guys, I just personally I didn't like it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say this, but I really didn't like the opening ceremony. I really didn't like it. The idea of it being on boats and because like all the instead of, you know, for normal Olympics when you have it's at an indoor stadium and then you have the countries march on to like what's probably like a track field. You know, they march on to that and they announce, you know, Germany, Spain, and then, you know, that type of stuff. This time, instead of them walking inside and like waving all stuff, they had everybody on boats. All right. They had everybody on these extremely long boats. Beautiful boats, actually. Very, very beautiful boats. I'm sure that cost a lot of money. They had everybody on boats. And the thing about it is it was very confusing, to be quite honest with you. So they had I didn't grab a graphic of this, but they had what looked like an Assassin's Creed dude. Now guys, I used to play video games quite a bit. Not so much anymore because unfortunately I actually have responsibilities. But I used to play Assassin's Creed. And for Assassin's Creed, I think it was I think one of the games I had was set in Paris. I think it was set in Paris. But the guy, here, hold on. Let me find a photo of it. I'm gonna search faceless Olympic torchbearer. I'm gonna see what pops up. Because it was very, very interesting. Where is this guy? It reminded me of Assassin's Creed. Like it really did. There was Man, why in the world can't I find a photo of this on the internet? It was so strange that it reminded me so much of Assassin's Creed. And clearly not enough people thought that because I'm not really seeing any photos of it online yet. But anyway, there was this guy who didn't have a face. He was oh, I found it. I found a photo. Okay, I found a photo. Let me show it to y'all. Okay, so this guy right over here, the guy with the hood. The guy is dressed up like Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't know if this was a partnership with Ubisoft or what. And I was like, man, this ain't nothing but a video game. And the guy was running on top of the roofs. He was running on top of the roofs in Paris with the flame, and literally in the Assassin's Creed game, that's what I used to be. That's what I used to do. I used to run on all the buildings, and that was a really fun part of the game. And I was like, man, this I was like, man, this is just like Assassin's Creed. I couldn't believe it, guys. I could not believe it. I was so surprised that this was a thing. It was fun though. It was fun to watch that guy in particular. I'm pretty sure they had multiple people in this costume. I'm assuming it wasn't the same guy. I'm assuming it's multiple people, but to me, I thought that was kind of cool. That was to me, that was the only real thing I really loved about this one. Paris says YouTube is Quita's new video game. Yeah. Now I have zero time now to play any video games because my video game is YouTube because literally that's what I do in my free time. Isabel says I could tell what they were going for, but it wasn't the best. Yeah, the thing I didn't like as much was the fact that it was outside, which if it is a bright sunny day, sure, that is fantastic, okay? But it was raining, guys, and the athletes were on boats, all right? There was an indoor component of the boat, so that's something to note. So they could go inside of the boat. This is some of the U.S. women's basketball team taking a photo, but they could go inside the boat, but like the boats, it didn't seem like it was large enough to hold every single person on the boat. And they were just, some of them were just standing outside or standing outside of the covered area. Rain just coming down. And if you're one of the first people to go through, yeah, sure, that's fun. That's fun and that's nice. But the U.S. team, by the time they went and got their claim to fame and just waving and all that stuff, by the time that happened, they were soaking wet. And it was basically pitch black. And they had cameras on the boats, and by the time the U.S. went, in this photo, it was sunny out. It was you could actually see some stuff. But later on, because they were on boats, and because it felt like they had to bring back boats, so some boats will go through, they would do some sort of sideshow entertainment thing, and then they would go back to more boats. And I think that that's because they didn't have enough boats for every single country. Though a lot of boats had 3 countries on it and whatnot, which is good, use the space. But I just think the idea of it was cool, but the execution was bad because, yeah, you can't control the weather, but also, especially if you can't control the weather, wouldn't you want to get the parade of nations through fast? Get it through. Get it through. But no, by the time the US went, it was pitch black. I'm pretty sure they were miserable, but they had a smile on their face because yes, this is their moment. So they absolutely did that. But I don't know. I didn't like it, and I would say it's probably because I'm not French and I don't understand like maybe some of the history or like whatever. Most of it confused me, to be quite honest with you. Most of the opening ceremony and whatnot was very confusing. It was very confusing for me. And again, I am not, French or European or whatever. So maybe there's a lack of understanding on my part, and I absolutely take that. But like as a random American, I didn't like it. Though I want, there were aspects like the Assassin's Creed guy, and yeah, I liked that part, and I liked they were going through the Louvre, I think that's what it's called, and then some of the artwork was like moving their eyes and stuff. Like I thought that was kind of cool. The metal band, I actually thought that was cool, but all the other performances, I thought it was confusing. I personally did not like it. But again, I am probably not their target audience, and there's just a huge level of understanding I don't get. So this is my opinion based off of my limited knowledge about French history and understanding of like not even like what they did, why they did it, and whatnot. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts. But Team USA did look really nice, guys. They were dressed by Polo Ralph Lauren, and guys, I absolutely love their outfits. Like I don't know, I would say for the last like 4 or 5 Olympics, it's always a hit. Like it's like every single time I wanna if every single time I would go on the internet, search the outfits that they're wearing, and I'd be like, oh man, I would love to wear that because it looks so cool. But I would see their prices and I'm like, oh no, this was way too over my budget. But it looks really, really nice. Like I love their outfits. Like I really do. For Summer Olympic Games and Winter Olympic Games, to me, the U.S. always kills it with their outfits. Other countries do as well, but I pay extra attention to the U.S. I thought they all looked really, really, really good out there. See, look at Diana Taurasi. Like the outfit is fly. I'm just saying, I like it. I like it. You got the striped shirt. You got the red, white, and blue jacket, and like I like the red and white trim on it. I really like the shoes. I liked it. DD says, was the French thing not clear? The French thing was clear. Like it was clear. Like I understand what they were trying to do. I just didn't like it. And I wonder if it's because I don't know. I'd be curious to see if French people enjoyed that. I didn't. But again, this is not me saying it was terrible. I'm just saying I didn't necessarily appreciate it. And so I'm because I didn't like it, I'm like, okay, well maybe there's something wrong with my understanding. All right. Maybe there's something wrong with my understanding or something. Like maybe something's wrong with me that I didn't like it. and everybody else seemed to like it, you know? So, but yeah, it was history. It was history. But, you know, it felt very artistic in ways. And I'm not really an artistic person. I'm a very, like, straight to the point person, you know? So I don't know. Maybe that's my thing. Because I feel like usually there is way more. There was storytelling in this, but like usually it's more on the nose, I feel. And this was in a very artistic way. And I don't know. Maybe something's just wrong with me or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm the odd one out, which I'll totally take. Like, that's fine. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Celine Dion performed, Lady Gaga performed. So yeah. Yeah, Lindy, it was all about history. All right. So let's yeah, Yuzora says the French Revolution thing didn't bother me. I mean, we are in their city, so they want us to represent their heroes. Absolutely, which is absolutely yes, Yuzora, you are absolutely correct, and that's why I'm like, hey, maybe it's just me, you know, as this is in France, so as long as the French people are love what they did, fantastic. I'm sure, you know, when, you know, the United States eventually does has Olympics here, you know, I'm sure it'll be a similar thing where other people from other countries are like, I didn't understand this. This doesn't make any sense, or they didn't like it. You know, it's understandable, right? It's understandable, and it's not necessarily for me, maybe, and that's cool too. That's cool too. But that's just my opinions. That's just my opinions. But take it with a grain of salt, because again, I am a rando American who is not cultured or anything like that. That like understands, or not necessarily understands history, but like I understand history, but like understands like the artistic expression of history of sorts. So yeah. All right. Lynn says I like the outfits. Yeah, the outfits were nice. And a lot of the other countries had some really fly outfits too. Like really, really fly outfits. All right. Let's talk about the lady who's on the screen right now. Let's talk about the lady who's on the screen. Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi has made an announcement. Well, not an announcement. She talked about it in an interview, which is now sort of news. The fact that she announced she announced that she is not going to be returning for the Olympics. So it is official, guys. Diana Taurasi, this will be her last Olympics. Okay, the 42-year-old has competed in a boatload of Olympics, guys. I don't know if you all I don't know if you all really understand how long Diana Taurasi been playing basketball. I don't know if everybody understands truly how long she's been playing. All right, because she is a player who has transcended time. It seems she has played with generational players all across the board, guys. I want to just sort of take you down memory lane a little bit. I want to take you down memory lane and just sort of like so we can reminisce on Diana Taurasi and like how, and appreciate really how long she's been in the game of women's basketball and how long she's been representing Team USA. All right, because it's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time. Okay. we talk about Diana, and we talk about the fact that she is 42 years old, and everyone's like, yeah, she's played for a long time and all that good jazz, right? Guys, I don't know if you all realize this. She has been in the Olympics. Her first Olympics was in 2004. All right. 2004. Okay. That was her first Olympics. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to talk about and imagine that she's been in the game for so long. And guys, this is a photo of her with Team USA in 2004. All right. Now, this is a long time ago, because y'all see Dawn Staley sitting over there. Y'all see Dawn Staley in the photo, right? Y'all see her in the photo, right? Dawn Staley was teammates with Diana Taurasi. And then later on, Dawn Staley in the 2020 Olympics became the head coach of Team USA. All right. So to go from player to player in 2004, fast forward several years, you're now a coach. You're now the coach for Team USA, and you're coaching the player you played with 16 years ago. It is absolutely kind of crazy, guys, to really think about how long she's really been in the game. It's a long time, guys. It's a long time. Like, look at this photo. This photo is from 2008. 2008. So look at the photo. We got Dawn Staley. We got Lisa Leslie. We got, I believe that's Ruth Riley, I believe. And Diana Taurasi. All right. It's just kind of cool to see the longevity, because that's not something you see very often. I know people got a lot of thoughts about whether or not she should be in the Olympics or not, or whatever. But y'all, the longevity is huge for Diana Taurasi. She's been in the game a very long time. She's still producing for Team USA. She's still producing. So it's not like she's garbage at all. You can disagree with her making the team, but like, she still can show some stuff. And we about to see what she can do in the Olympics, because guys, this is her final farewell to Olympic basketball. She did not confirm that this is her final year playing professional basketball. So we might just see Diana next year, either in the WNBA, or maybe we'll see her in Rival. No clue. But she has not turned the page on that yet, but she has turned the page on Olympic basketball. All right. So we will not see a 46-year-old Diana Taurasi in the Olympics, but 42-year-old Diana Taurasi ain't bad at all. But again, I understand, and I do also have opinions about her not being on this team. But you gotta celebrate and appreciate what she has done for the game, and like how crazy it is that she is still here playing basketball at the highest level, representing her country. I think it's cool. I think regardless of your opinion about that decision, I think it's pretty cool. Like, again, guys, Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, Ruth Riley. And now she's playing with the next generation of stars. Asia Wilson, Kalia Copper, Sabrina Ionescu. Like, it's pretty cool. It just, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I think it is pretty cool. Yeah, Paris, this is her last dance. Yeah. So why not go out on top? Why not go out on top? Again, guys, from 2004 to 2024. 20 years, guys, 20 years. And she's still doing a thing at the highest of levels. Let's see. Francis says way more players deserve to be there and would have brought value. I just don't think DT is the least deserving or helpful on this particular team. I hear your point. I absolutely hear your point, Francis. And when the list was officially announced, I didn't want Diana Taurasi. I thought there were other players that could have been on the roster besides Diana Taurasi. I did. However, she's on the roster. And she actually has shown up for Team USA this year. She has. She started. She brought in some pretty decent minutes. We're gonna see how it translates for the rest of the season, for the Olympics, guys. The thing to note is the main reason why Diana Taurasi is on this team is because she has the leadership. She's bringing leadership, and she's bringing just sort of like coach on the floor vibes to the squad. And so that's why she's on the roster. I think she is going to do well. I do think that she's going to show y'all that, hey, she still got stuff in the tank. I mean, she shows it all the time in the WNBA. We've seen her play all season. She's good. Still good. Still at the top level, sort of towards the top level of like the top 20%, top 30% of the WNBA right now. She's still there. She's still there at 42 years old. I'm just saying. Says a lot. Says a lot. Donald says 6 is greedy. Really? I mean, if they keep letting her on the team, I mean, hey, if they keep letting her on the team, I don't know. I think it's up to her to decide to try, but ultimately it's the committee. It's the Olympic committee who decides who makes the team or not. So that's on them. That is on them. Gochi says maybe decisions should be left to the fans. No way. In no way should fans determine who makes Team USA. In no way. No. And that would be terrible. Yes, I do believe she was an Olympic player in her rookie year. Yeah. Which again, says a lot. Says a lot. She graduated from UConn in 2004, and that same year she played in the Olympics. Yep. Rotu says, I agree her longevity has been amazing. When they listed out how many gold medals she's won, that is outstanding for the country. I agree, Quita. It's amazing. Not a big Diana Taurasi fan, but props to her. Yeah. And this is, and to be honest with you, I'm not like a big Diana Taurasi fan either. I mean, she's cool, absolutely. She has done a lot for women's basketball. I'm very appreciative of her game. Absolutely. And I just gotta put it up and be like, man, that's fantastic. Like, athletically, to keep your body in shape like that and still be good, says a lot, man. Says a lot. Says a lot. Element says GOAT. That's a guaranteed way to make a bad team. Committee is the best way. They just need to do their jobs and not let corruption into the process. Yeah, I hear your point there. Yeah, I think because she's the GOAT as determined by the WNBA a couple years ago, because she has been on Team USA truly for a very, very long time, because she has a huge leadership factor, and because she's still scoring a decent amount of points in the WNBA. That's why she made the roster. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's just the GOAT title itself, but it did but it's that in combination to her current production on the Mercury. Because I think, guys, if she was averaging 3 points a game for the Mercury, she wouldn't be on this team. All right? If she was stinking it up in the WNBA this year, she wouldn't be on the team. GOAT title or not. So I think it's the production she's given and her legacy in women's basketball that got her a spot on the roster. Yeah, Izor UConn's Brianna Stewart got in as a rookie also. Yep. All right, guys. William. William's not a fan. Not a fan. I mean, and William, the reason why Diana Taurasi is the GOAT of women's basketball is because she was literally crowned that from the WNBA. Personally, I don't think she is the GOAT. Of the WNBA, sure. Of women's basketball, period, I don't think so. I think Diana Taurasi is awesome. But yeah, I when I call her the GOAT, it's because she was literally crowned that. And guys, if y'all don't remember that, we can do a trip down memory lane some other time, and I could talk through the fact that literally the WNBA did this whole thing, and they crowned her the GOAT. All right. Okay, guys. So that's kind of Team USA. But I want to make sure before we get off the Team USA talk, I do want to talk about the schedule. All right. I do want to talk about the schedule. So guys, here's the schedule for USA women's basketball. So we have the United States playing Japan on Monday, July the 29th. That game is at 2 p.m. Central Time. 2 p.m. Central Time. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I will not be doing a live play-by-play of the game because I have to work that day. However, I will be doing a post-game live stream to sort of recap everything at 6 p.m. Okay? So at 6 p.m., I will do that. All right. On Monday. So on Monday, again, the U.S. plays Japan. We should easily win that game. Not a big deal. The USA plays Belgium, and this is all women's basketball 5-on-5. All right. The USA plays Belgium on Thursday, August the 1st. Now I will be doing a live play-by-play of this game. All right. I will be doing a live play-by-play again. This game is at 2 p.m. Central Time. All right, 2 p.m. Central Time. And again, I will be doing a play-by-play live stream on this channel. All right. That's next Thursday. And then next Sunday on, August the 4th? We will see the U.S. take on Germany. That game is at 10:15 Central Time. I will also be doing a play-by-play live stream of that game as well. All right. So I'll have USA versus Belgium and Germany. We will be on this channel going live for it. The game against Japan, I will not be live for that game, but I will do a post-game recap. All right. That is something to note, guys. Also, I did want to make sure you all were aware about some of the other dates, though we don't have times for those games because you got to see who makes it out the groups. So we have the quarterfinals on August the 7th, the semis on August the 9th, and the gold medal game on August the 11th. All right. So those are the dates that you all need to be aware of. Again, guys, this is specifically for 5-on-5 women's basketball for Team USA. All right. So that is something to note. I did want to make sure you all were aware of that. Guys, again, I will be live on this channel for a decent amount of those games. Again, 2 out of the 3, so decent enough. But yeah, that's something to note. Now, guys, let me know in the chat if you all plan on watching those games. I'm very much interested to find out if you all are watching. But I hope if y'all are watching that y'all rock with me on those days that I will be going live. It should be pretty fun. All right, let's see if y'all have any questions, any comments about this. Let's see. Lindy says, how many games in total do they play if they keep winning? I mean, well, they play a total of 6. So we have, again, the round robin games in Group C, which is USA versus Japan, then Japan again, then Belgium, then Germany. Then they would play in the quarterfinals, then they would play in the semifinals, and then the finals, the gold game. So 6. And I've listed all of those 6 games. I've listed all the dates here. We don't know the times for when the U.S. will play in the quarterfinals and semifinals. This is me assuming that they're going to get there, which they should. But yeah, that's 6 games. All right. Road2 says, I will watch every game. Excited to see as I am missing watching basketball. I will also be watching the men's basketball team and swimming, gymnastics, track and field. Yeah, it's a lot to watch. It's a lot to watch. Not just women's basketball. All right, a whole lot to watch when it comes to the Olympics. KT says U.S. is going undefeated. I think that's a big possibility. That is a big possibility. Okay. All right, let's continue on, guys. So that's the news about Team USA. Now, I do want to give you all some news about Team Australia because they have some horrible news that has come about. Guys, Beck Allen is out for the Olympics. It's very tough injury news. Beck Allen, one of the best players on Team Australia, a player who they were really going to use to try to get a medal this year. She got injured in the final warm-up for Team Australia. It is a high-grade hamstring injury, which is very tough of a loss. So, the injury happened after their practice on Thursday. And guys, if you don't know, Beck Allen plays for the Phoenix Mercury. And this is a huge loss. This is an absolutely huge loss for Team Australia because the Opals were trying to make something happen. They were trying to make something happen. But unfortunately, she does have a hamstring injury. And guys, it sucks, man. Like, it sucks that you're like, you get this close, and then something happens, and then it's all for naught. Now you're hurt, Now you got to get replaced and you got to watch the game on TV. Like it just sucks. It just sucks because Team Australia had a decent chance to get a medal this year. They had a decent chance because you got some pretty good players on Team Australia. But Beck Allen was the shooter. She was like one of their big shooters. And now she's out. So she is replaced by Amy Atwell. She has been replaced by Amy Atwell, so that is something to note. So we'll see what Amy does in the Olympics. This is going to be Amy's Olympic debut. So, you know, there is a replacement player, so that's good. But tough news. Tough news about Beck Allen. Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens, guys. That is what happens. All right, guys, that is the news. I just wanted to let you all know that. I know we talked a lot about Team USA, but I also wanted to make sure you all knew about what was happening with the Opals as well. KT, you heard right. Yes, Lauren Jackson is playing for Team Australia. And guys, a little bit of insight on me, a little bit of insight. In my opinion, in terms of players that I have watched physically with my own eyes in the moment, not players that I watched play on YouTube or like whatever. When I think about like the best women's basketball player that I've ever seen myself, Cheryl Miller doesn't count because she played like before I was alive and I couldn't watch her like in the moment. The best player I've ever, in my opinion, the best player one of the best players, my favorite player when it comes to women's basketball is Lauren Jackson. Lauren Jackson she came out of retirement twice. She is going to be playing for Team Australia. No, Lauren Jackson is nothing like the player she used to be at all. But to me, when it comes to women's basketball, guys, injuries destroyed Lauren Jackson's career. Injuries absolutely destroyed her career. Because guys, if Lauren Jackson does not get injured as many times as she did, Seattle would have won at least 4 or 5 championships. At least 4 or 5 championships. All right. So that's my thing. That personally is my thing. Like Lauren Jackson, she revolutionized the way post players play. All right, she did. And I'm talking about Lauren Jackson. I got Beck Allen on the screen. This is not Lauren Jackson. This is Beck Allen. If you just joined, but there was a comment about Lauren Jackson, so I was this is a Friday show, so I'm gonna go off. But like Lauren Jackson revolutionized women's basketball in the post position. All right, I think a player like Lauren Jackson made it more possible for us to have post players with guard like skills. Lauren Jackson could take you out 3-point shot. She can bang with you in the post. She can get the mid range. She can dribble a little bit. Lauren Jackson could do everything. We talk about how great Asia is, talk about how great Nafisa is, and Stewie and Candace and all that other stuff. And they are fantastic. But guys, I really believe that the way that they play basketball as a post, Lauren Jackson paved the way for that. And maybe you all disagree with me on that, and that's totally fine. But when it comes to how women's basketball took a turn, and absolutely, Lisa Leslie was fantastic too. Absolutely. But in my opinion, Lauren Jackson was the best. And she helped to make it possible for all these other players now. And yes, she is nowhere near the player she used to be. Nowhere near at all. But I'm happy to see her in the Olympics. I am. I am happy to see her. I am. Because guys, and maybe the reason why I like talk about Lauren Jackson the way I do is because I really saw her in her prime for years with Seattle and Australia. And guys, if it was not for those injuries, everybody, most people would consider her the best woman, one of the best players of all time, if it wasn't for all those injuries. But she just kept having injury after injury after injury after injury after injury, and that derailed her. That absolutely derailed her career. But she was fantastic. She was fan-freaking-tastic. Donald says Lauren Jackson was Stewie on steroids. She was. Like, she really was. Like, maybe guys, I'll make a video about the greatness of Lauren Jackson, because I don't think a lot of people I think a lot of women's basketball fans don't even know who Lauren Jackson is. Some of them never even heard of her. And if they have, they've only heard of her as second fiddle to Sue Bird. And Sue Bird was phenomenal too, but Lauren Jackson was like, she was that player. She was that player. She really was. She really, really was. Now, guys, that's kind of a random talk about Lauren Jackson. Has nothing to do with the actual conversation. I just went on this rant because someone mentioned Lauren Jackson. But guys, I think I'll probably eventually make a video about her, because I really don't think a lot of people truly understand how revolutionary of a player she was. Like, I don't think I don't think you all, like, I don't think some of you all fully understand how talented she was. And how much of a loss it was, the fact that she kept getting hurt. Like, it just sucks, man. Injuries suck. All right, guys. All right. Let's move on. Because, guys, I got some great news for you. Did you know that Riakia Jackson has done something pretty spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. So, Riakia Jackson, she's made some history recently. And she's made some history because of a shoe deal that she has decided to sign. So, Riakia Jackson plays for the LA Sparks. She is a rookie this year, and she is playing some really good basketball. Playing some really, really good basketball for the Los Angeles Sparks. And guys, she becomes the first WNBA player ever to sign a deal with Skechers, and that's kind of cool. So she said, and I quote, "Being the first WNBA player to join the Skechers roster is an incredible feeling. The brand is a rising star in the sports world." So that's something to note. She is averaging 11.4 points a game this season, 3.9 rebounds for the LA Sparks, and she got a shoe deal, y'all. She got a shoe deal, and Skechers. When you talk about women's basketball, you usually don't think of Skechers. Like, Skechers is not a place to go necessarily for women's basketball, but now it is. Now it is with this deal with Riakia Jackson. Skechers trying to get in the game. The game is for the most part dominated by Nike. Then you got Adidas. Now you got Reebok doing some stuff with Shaq and Angel. You got Skechers trying to make some stuff happen with Riakia Jackson. I think it's fantastic. I love the fact that sure, she could have signed with Nike and Adidas and whatnot. I like the fact that she's sort of like broaching her own thing. I think she's broaching her own thing, and she's going to be the face of women's Skechers stuff. Like, she's going to be the face of it. When it comes to Skechers women's basketball, it's Riakia Jackson. She's not going to be one of many. She's not going to be one of many on a roster like Nike has and whatnot. She is one of one. She is one of one with Skechers, and I think it's pretty cool. Also Puma also is a big factor in women's basketball as well, because you got Stewie with Puma. But I think it's great. I really do think it's great. I did want to shout this out because I think a lot of people don't know the fact that she signed this deal. So that's something to note. She was the fourth pick in this year's WNBA draft. And yeah, she is with Skechers, which is really, really fun. Now, also, guys, Skechers is not just making moves in women's basketball. They're also making moves when it comes to basketball, period. So, Skechers signed Joel Embiid, to the brand. They also got Julius Randle. They got Terrence Mann with the Clippers. There's they're trying to make stuff happen when it comes to basketball, period. Here is what Greg Smith, the Skechers VP of Product Development, said. He said, Rickea is not only a rising star in the WNBA with a bright future in the sport, but she also believes in the brand and loves Skechers on and off court product. So yeah, that's something to note, guys. She spent her time, her last two seasons with the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. She was a first team All SEC. She averaged 20 points a game as a senior with Tennessee. And again, this year she is doing her thing with the LA Sparks, averaging 11.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and she has gotten her way into the starting lineup. And I think it is pretty cool. So guys, I know a lot of y'all probably did not hear the news about Riakia Jackson. And I wanted to talk about it because sometimes I feel like we primarily talk about certain players, and other players don't get much of a shine. And I feel like Riakia Jackson is one of those players who just, when we talk about the draft class, it's a whole lot about Caitlin. It's a lot about Angel. It was a lot about Cameron until she got hurt. But it's not much about Riakia Jackson. And y'all, Riakia Jackson has been balling on the court, and she is making some moves in her private life, getting signed with Skechers. I think this is a big W of a deal. And yeah, we about to see what Skechers can do, man. Riakia Jackson is the first player. We'll see as time goes on who else they decide to sign, but I think it's great that Skechers is like, you know what? Yes, we're investing in the men's game, but also we want a piece of pie of the women's game too, because they some ballers, and I know they are marketable. And I think it's a dub. I wanted to talk about it because, again, I wasn't sure how many of y'all even knew this idea. I was a big Skechers wearer when I was a kid. I was a big Skechers wearer. I was. I used to wear Skechers. I used to wear Shaq shoes. I used to love Shaq shoes because I love them because they were cheap. Both Skechers and Shaq shoes. They look cool, in my opinion. I thought they looked cool, but they were cheap. And they cheap meaning affordable, not cheap meaning bad quality. And shout out to Skechers, man. I guess I'm gonna have to I gotta see what Riakia Jackson is rocking these days. I gotta add some Skechers shoes to my current arsenal. Yeah, maybe that's what I gotta do. Shout out to Skechers for signing Riakia Jackson. Shout out to Riakia Jackson for being the first. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So again, guys, to wrap up that story, Riakia Jackson making some stuff happen, signing with Skechers as the first WNBA player to sign with the brand. The brand is trying to revamp and really showcase their basketball shoes, and they've signed some good players to make that all happen. All right. Sherelle says, I'm copping some. That's awesome. Yes, please get yourself some Skechers. Yes. Because again, guys, the reason why brands sign players to deals is because they want people to buy them, right? They think, okay, well, if I sign this person to a deal, all their fans and whatnot, they'll be marketable. I'll be able to get more people to buy my stuff. And so absolutely go out and buy yourself some Skechers. Whatever shoes that Riakia is promoting, rock that. and support. So absolutely support. And I'm a look online and see what I see when it comes to Skechers, because I haven't actually don't think I've ever been on their website before. Because like when I used to wear Skechers, it was like before. I mean, the internet was a thing, but like at least my family didn't use it. And so yeah, I never ever been on their website. Yeah. Skechers are good. They're good shoes. They're good shoes. Nice and sturdy shoes. Doug says with Asia and now Rickea, it appears the WNBA is getting some attention. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The WNBA is getting some attention. And it's great to know. It's great to note. Yeah, they're coming back. They are coming back. Let's see. Donald says, did you talk about the sky yet? Sorry, I came in late. No, but you're just in time, Donald, because that's literally the next topic. That is literally the next topic. All right. So, guys, told y'all I had 4 things to talk about really in this stream. I wanted to talk about Team USA and the Olympic opening ceremony. I talked about that. Just talked about Riakia Jackson and her big news. We about to talk about the Chicago Sky and their new practice facility, and I have a little bit of something to say about women's college basketball. All right. So, guys, we got some huge news to share with you all today. We got some gigantic news, and it affects my Chicago Sky. Now, guys, if y'all don't know, I am a giant Chicago Sky fan. Like, that's what I do. Like, that's my team. Always been my team. I'm not unrealistic. I am very realistic on the prospects of the Chicago Sky. So sometimes y'all want to accuse me of not being a fan because I'm not like, oh, the Sky gonna win everything, yeah. Let's talk about the new news for the Chicago Sky. The fact that they have announced that they are going to break ground on a 40,000 square foot facility. All right. Now, guys, this is a huge deal for the Chicago Sky. This is a huge deal for the WNBA. We constantly see, it feels like every couple months, we see a new performance center being built for or unveiled for a WNBA franchise. Most recently, we saw the Phoenix Mercury. They unveiled theirs during the All-Star break, during the All-Star game, and they gave tours of the new facility, and it looks, y'all, the new Phoenix Mercury facility looks fan-freaking-tastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the Sky was like, okay, bet. We about to release ours. And they did. So this is something that is a long time coming for the Chicago Sky, but at least it's finally here, guys. At least it is finally here. So this performance center will feature several full regulation size basketball courts. It is going to be built in partnership with the Village of Bedford Park. So this is not so the Sky are not going into this endeavor by themselves. They are going to be partnering with the city of Bedford Park, which is a suburb of Chicago. So it's technically a village. Right next door to Chicago. It's most closest to Midway Airport. All right, so guys, this again feature multiple regulation size courts. It's also going to feature community partnerships. They have community partnerships solidified with the Obama Foundation, the YMCA of Metro Chicago. Players will have 24-hour access all year round. And this is something that the Sky doesn't have right now. They do not have this right now. And finally, we are leaving Saks Recreation Center in Deerfield, Illinois. And we are moving, yes, still in the suburbs, but not that far from Wintrust Arena. It's about 20 to 30 minutes or so on good traffic days. If it's traffic, is going to be more than that. But it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's just pretty nice to see, guys. Again, this is going to be a separate building. Like, this is all this building is built specific. Is going to be specific to the Chicago Sky. It's with the Village of Bedford Park because they're using their property, and it's going to be completed in about a year. So the completion date for this is December 2025. I do anticipate that we will see some delays in this, because there's always delays. There's always delays when properties are being built. But even with the delay, it should be ready to go for training camp for 2020. It should be ready to go for training camp of 2026. All right. So that is something to know. Again, 40,000 square foot. And this is, this is exclusively for the Chicago Sky. This is going to be where their players will practice at, will rehab at. This is also where the Chicago Sky staff will be at. So if you all don't know, the Chicago Sky, their staff actually is located at McCormick Place. That's where their staff work. And now it's going to be in Bedford Park, and it's going to be all connected, which is pretty cool. All right, there was reporting before, I believe last week or so. I did previously make a video about it, where there was talk about the Chicago Sky buying and or adding on to the Wintrust Sports Complex, which is already existing in Bedford Park. Turns out that this is actually going to be, they're actually going to be building right next to it. They're going to be building right next to the Wintrust Sports Complex. And it's going to have 2 WNBA size courts, full class amenities, private facilities for the players, i.e. they're actually going to have real locker rooms that are theirs. They also are going to have player lounges. They're going to have a high-tech film room, advanced training room. They're going to have a strength and conditioning room, a private chef kitchen. Now, guys, I'm stressing the chef thing because that was one of the things that Kalia Kappa talked about. She was like, I don't want to have to worry about food. When she went over to Phoenix, she was so happy that she didn't have to worry about food anymore, because that was supposedly something she had to worry about when it came to Chicago Sky. No longer do players have to worry about food. No longer, guys. You do not have to worry about food. All right. So I'm sure they are very, very much excited for that. There will also be personalized lockers for each of the players. Secured parking, which is really, really good. So making sure that's private parking that is not accessible to any and everybody. So that's really, really good. Beauty stations, which, guys, I'm gonna say 2 more things. Beauty stations and a content creation studio. Now, guys, the beauty stations and content creation studio has Angel Reese written all over it. That is Angel Reese written all over that. All right. She has had multiple conversations with the Chicago Sky ownership. And guys, I guarantee you, Angel Reese is behind that. She is absolutely behind that. And it is smart for, Michael Alter and the other Sky owners to listen to her and make this happen. Okay. Because again, guys, the wave of the future is content creation. And players, they practice and whatnot, but they want to look good. So there's going to be beauty stations. All right, there's going to be beauty stations and a whole content creation studio. Now, I think this is pretty cool. I think this is awesome. It's not just the fact that, yes, the Sky will have their own facility. That's fantastic. But I love the forward thinking of this. I love it. It's not just, okay, you got courts, you got your own courts, and you got some good amenities, and you got private access, 24 access. It's not just that, guys. It's also the forward thinking nature of it. The fact that you do have in a content creation studio, the fact that you do have beauty stations, the fact that you will have a private chef kitchen that's gonna be cooking up some tasty stuff for the players. Like, that is really smart. That is really, really, really smart to do for the Chicago Sky, because you want to make this interesting for future players. You want players to be like, yeah, you know what? I do want to go to Chicago, because Chicago got an awesome setup over there. Or if they're already in Chicago, they're not looking. They're not looking and seeing if the grass is greener on the other side. You don't have to look anymore, because the Sky's going to have you all covered. And I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Now, I have done my fair share of complaining about the Chicago Sky owners and how I felt at times that they have been cheap. However, move, Sky owners. Move. Y'all have, round of applause to the Sky owners. Round of applause. I think you all have done a fantastic job. I love this. I love this. I love this. I think this is going to help us get some of the biggest free agents in the WNBA. I think this is going to help ensure that players stay happy, because we all know that the Sky players is not the personnel. So the Sky, a lot of the Sky people who have left in the past, it's not so much the personnel. It was the facilities that made people want to leave. And now that there's a whole bunch of fanfare about Teaspoon. People seem to like her. People seem to like the ownership. Overall, it was the amenities that was the big thing. We almost got NECA. We almost got Skylar. The reason why they went to Seattle instead of Chicago was because of the amenities. Everything else was good for them. They both liked the idea of playing for Teaspoon. They liked it. The reason why they didn't come here was because of our amenities. And now it will not be an issue anymore. It will not be an issue. We are well overdue for an actual facility. Now, I am personally very, very, very excited to talk about this, because I just think it's fantastic. I really do. I love it. I love it. The WNBA is on the move. We're constantly seeing new facilities being built for the various teams, and I'm happy that the Chicago Sky is finally in the number. Because, guys, you want to be in the number, right? You want to be in the number, and the Sky are finally in that number, and I am absolutely thrilled about it. I think this is a W move by the Chicago Sky. This is something that they should have done a while ago, but better late than never, okay? Better late than never. They finally got on board. They got the money to work right. And yes, our prices did increase. Absolutely. The ticket prices for me increased. It doubled. My ticket prices doubled last year to this year. They doubled. All right. And initially, I was very upset about that. And I was like, I was wondering, okay, well, what am I really paying for and all this stuff? I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this new facility, and all the other season ticket holders who prices skyrocketed. That's what we're paying for. All right. We are paying for this facility. And personally, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. I am okay with that decision, because at least they are making moves to improve the status of the Chicago Sky, and I personally am very, very, very much excited about it. Now, guys, I do want to specifically call out some quotes that was mentioned in the press release. So here's what Nadia Rollinson. So Nadia Rollinson is she's a part owner of the Sky, but also she is basically their like PR person, it seems. Anytime the Chicago Sky needs to speak on something, anytime the Sky needs to speak on something, Nadia Rollinson is the main person who does all the talking. All right, so Michael Alter and all the other owners, they don't really talk that much, but Nadia Rollinson, she's the person who does all the talking for the Sky. She said, "We could not be more excited to announce a practice facility that will raise the bar on athletic performance, set the standard for player amenities, and support our players with exceptional resources built exclusively for them." Living in downtown Chicago will also give Sky players the opportunity to experience all the benefits of our world-class city. Thanks to Bedford Park, who stepped up to be a part of the first of its kind public-private partnership for a WNBA practice facility to bring this transformational vision to life. Here is what the village president had to say. The village president of Bedford Park. He said, "As a lifelong Bedford Park resident, educator, and coach, I am thrilled to announce the expansion of the Quita Sports Complex to feature the Chicago Sky state-of-the-art practice facility and training facility. I want to thank the board and the Chicago Sky leadership for believing in a collective vision and investing in the future of Bedford Park. We are excited to be a part of Skytown and look forward to welcoming them in our home." So that is what was said. That's what was said, and I think it's pretty awesome. I think it is pretty awesome. Now, guys, a thing to note: this, as that quote said, this is a public-private partnership. So the Sky does not fully own this thing themselves. All right, they're doing it on village land. And it's going to be part village property. That could have its downsides. Absolutely, that could have its downsides in terms of the Sky not fully being able to fully make all of their own decisions. However, it does bring benefit in terms of additional funding. So the Sky does not have to. They don't have to handle that full $38 million cost alone. All right, they don't have to cover that all by themselves. So that's one good thing. That's one good thing about it. And I'm hoping that, as long as the village of Bedford Park is still in good financial situation, and the Sky are too, that this turns out to be a fantastic public-private partnership for decades and decades and decades to come. So the reason why this is a public-private is because there's going to be some public use of this facility. All right, there's going to be some public use for this. So they're going to be partnering with the Obama Foundation, the YMCA of Metro Chicago. They're going to be also working with the Village of Bedford Park to, give the public some access to some of the facilities. Of course, yes, the players are the main focus on this, but there will be some public good that's going to happen from this building. So that is something to note. And so, yeah, I think it's cool. I'm excited about it. I hope you all are as well. The Chicago Sky are finally in the conversation when it comes to top amenities for the WNBA. I love it. I really do. I really do love it. When we talk about the Chicago Sky, they didn't have that grid of stuff. They didn't. And yes, this is not the most expensive, facility, right? It's $38 million, which is a lot of money, a whole lot of money. I wish I had a tenth, or I don't know, a small percentage of that, 5% of that, or whatever, 1% of that. I wish I had that, but anyway, it's a lot of money for regular people. But when we think about WNBA teams and what they have unveiled, is not that much. All right, so comparison time. Remember the Mercury facility I was talking about earlier? Remember that? That facility that was unveiled last week at the All-Star game, that facility was $100 million. All right. That facility was $100 million, and it was just steps away from where they play. at Footprint Arena. All right. So this is not like the craziest of builds, right? The Seattle Storm, they unveiled theirs. What was that earlier this year, earlier this season or something like that? They unveiled theirs. Theirs was $64 million. All right. The Aces, their build out of their practice facility was $40 million. All right. So that's something to note. Okay. So the prices for this stuff, I sort of ran the gamut. Okay. You got $100 million for the Mercury. You got $64 million for the Seattle Storm, $40 million for the Las Vegas Aces, and for the Chicago Sky. Excuse me. For the Chicago Sky, you have $38 million. KT, that's a good thing to note. Yes, the Mercury do own the land. Also, I do also believe that the Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm also own their own land. I think I will do a follow-up video. I'll do a follow-up video about this. All right. But I did just want to talk about this because one, I think it's a W move. I love it. It's great that they're now in a better situation than they were before at the boondocks in the suburbs. But they're still in the suburbs. Again, way closer, not that far from downtown Chicago, but still not downtown. So Wintrust Arena is, I wouldn't consider that downtown. That's sort of like right on the edge of. It's right next to the McCormick Center, so it's sort of like right on the edge of the south side of Chicago and like going into like the Loop. Sort of like the Loop area, kind of for Wintrust Arena, and the Sky were trying to look for something like that. They were trying to look for a property downtown or close to downtown, but it just didn't work out. It just did not work out in terms of the options that they ultimately had. And I do want to share a particular article with you all that sort of dives into this even a little bit more. So this is from I want to share an article from Annie Costabile with the Chicago Sun-Times, and she spoke with Rollinson, and I want to talk about that real quick because I thought that was pretty interesting, right? I thought it was pretty interesting. So let me share my screen one more time, and I want to talk about that real quick. Okay, why can't I show this? All right, give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, here we go. All right, apologies for the delay. All right, so this is a specific. This is an article from Annie Costabile of the Sun-Times, and here is what it says. So before games right now, the Sky is that, and I talked about this in a previous video. The Sky, most of them live in the suburbs. But when near they live in the suburbs in Deerfield, near Saks Recreation Center, which is where they currently practice at. And on home games, they do stay at a nearby hotel the night before, so they can be close, so they don't have to travel that much. The new facility that is being created will also have upgraded team housing. So that's kind of cool. One thing to note is that the WNBA is very different than some other leagues. The fact that the WNBA actually takes care of the housing. WNBA teams takes care of housing for players. So that's something to note because it's only in the summer. Teams got to make sure that the players have a place to stay. So that's something that is something to note. And here's what Nadia Rawlinson, again, she's the spokesperson for the Sky. Here's what she had to say. She said the team explored everything that was available. So they wanted to make it known that they were trying for the city, but it just didn't work out. Here's what Nadia said. She said, "I know we want it to be downtown for the practice facility. That's ideal. We talked about whatever makes sense financially for the franchise, whatever is available in the timeline. There are things that could work, but it would take a lot longer." She said, "We're putting in the time and effort to do it the right way with the right partners on the timeline that is as fast as possible without sacrificing quality." And that's why they made the decisions that they made to solidify this partnership. And I love it because, guys, if they were going to make this thing happen in the city, let's say they were going to do it in the South Loop, right next to nearby to Wintrust Arena. One, there's not much in terms of abandoned property over there. So you'd have to figure out what you're going to do because the Sky could have used a part of the old Michael Reese Hospital, which is on the south side, I think in Bronzeville. Like they could have possibly used that as a site, but the site is huge, and I believe right now the city owns it, and I don't think. One, it would have took forever to actually build something. That probably would have been like a long sought out process, probably like a 5 or 6 year deal to sort of build something on the place that's probably the closest to Wintrust Arena that was kind of abandoned. The Sky needs the property, ASAP basically, and this was the way to make it happen. Yeah, Paris, I 100% agree. Yeah, the Sky needs the property now. They need their own practice facility now to compete, and it was going to be basically impossible to get something in a year, roughly, that could actually work for the team as a long-term solution, not just a short-term solution. And so all of those things, is a factor, and led to them making this decision to partner with the city of with the village of Bedford Park, and to make this thing happen. I love it. I think this is great. I think this is really, really good. The Sky did not have to purchase their own property. They don't have to really worry about permits and all this other stuff, because when you're building a new facility, you gotta worry a lot about permits, because everything is all about timing and whatnot, and you got to make sure the city that you're building in is okay with all this stuff. The Sky doesn't have to worry about that because this is in partnership with the village. So it's going to make a lot of stuff a lot more easier, and also can ensure that they can make this December 2025 timeline. Like I think it's great. I really do think it's great. So shout out to the Chicago Sky for making this thing happen. I think it's great. I think it really is great. They were able to get some additional financial backing with the village, who's behind this whole thing, and I love it. I really do. I really do. So again, this will be done tentatively by December 2025. So about a year and some change. Definitely well before the 2025 WNBA season. So that's awesome to note. And it's going to include 2 regulation size WNBA courts, private facilities for players, player lounges, a film room, a training room, a private chef's kitchen. Yes, they are getting a chef. locker rooms with personalized lockers, secured parking, a content creation studio, and beauty stations, likely courtesy of Angel Reese. And all of this is going to be had for $38 million. And the financial situation will be handled by both the Chicago Sky and the Village of Bedford Park, which is where this facility is going to be located. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Rachel says, will players live in that village? Likely players will live in Bedford Park. Yeah. So the thing you know is that typically, actually, it's pretty common that all WNBA players, all WNBA teams, pay for housing for players. It's up to the players to use the housing or not. They can decide, actually, I don't want to live here. I want to live somewhere else. But the WNBA teams do pay for the housing for players. So likely they will live in Bedford Park, which again is not that far from Wintrust Arena. It's not that far. And guys, actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll do a quick map, Google Maps thing to actually show y'all how far this is. It's not that far. It's really not. I want to show y'all how far this is to Wintrust Arena. All right, so let me share my screen one more time because I mean for me I know how far this stuff is because this is where I'm from, but for others I want to make sure you all like understand how far this is because it's not far at all. It's really not. All right, so here is the map. Here's the map, and I put in Wintrust Sports Complex, which this facility is going to be right next door to that, and Wintrust Arena. So again, right now, it's nighttime. You know, it's 8:40 in Chicago. It's not that crowded. 19 minutes. 19 minutes without traffic is not that bad. With traffic, it's like 30, 35-ish minutes. Maybe pushing 40 a little bit, depending on how terrible the traffic is, but it's not bad. It's really, really, really not bad at all in terms of traffic. So again, even if players do live in Bedford Park, it's not that far. It's not that far to get to the games. It's not. So they likely will live in Bedford Park, or some of them might actually live downtown. Even if you live downtown, again, downtown is not that far from Wintrust Arena anyway. Like it's really not that far. Like this is like the South Loop, and downtown is like right up here. So again, it's not that far from Bedford Park. So all of this is a great sign for the Chicago Sky. All of this allows the Sky to actually start to be competitive, finally, with the other teams in the W. So again, personally, I am very, very excited about it. Now, guys, I do want to get you all's thoughts about this. I do want to get you all's thoughts. But for me, I'm cool with my prices going up for tickets. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it because we get this. I mean, I don't get it. I'll probably never step foot in this place, but our players will get this, and that will likely mean that we'll get some better players, and we'll be able to actually go back to competing for a championship, which is great. So I think it's great. So absolutely, I was gonna do a story about this. I'm not sure if I will anymore. But the Chicago Sky, they put out the invoices for season ticket renewals a couple weeks ago, and they didn't say anything about prices going up. And it's funny because I noticed it because I was talking to my ticket rep. About, hey, I have 2 tickets right now to every home game, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in getting 2 more tickets. Can I do that? And I'm like, I want 2 tickets next to where I sit at right now. Cause there's, I do have other family who want to go to games, want to go to Sky games with me. But since my mom goes to most of them because she's on the live stream, they're like, hey, can you get more tickets so we can go too? So I was trying to get 2 more tickets. So I wanted a total of 4 tickets next year for the Sky. So I reach out to my rep. I say, hey, I want 2 more tickets on the same row. Do you have any available for next year? And he was like, no, we're actually all sold out right now for next year. And he was like, but you can decide to put a deposit down for, I forgot when, I think my seats are called lower bowl. I think that's what they're called. He said you could put a deposit down for the lower bowl seats. And that way, if spots open up and people decide not to renew their tickets, you can take those seats. And he said, like, if it turns out that you don't want the seats that open up, because again, I was like, I really want my row. The current row I'm on, I either want the row in front of it or the row behind it. I don't want any other seats, any other 2 additional seats besides the current space I sit at. And he's like, if we don't have those seats open up, then we'll just credit your account. And so I was like, okay, great. So I go into he said, here, go to the site where we do our invoices, select the wait list, pay the fee for the wait list, and you'll be added. You'll be added to it. And so I was like, okay, great. So I did that. And the place where I went to submit the payment for the wait list for the 2 additional seats for next year is the same place that I go to pay my invoice for, like, at the end of the season. And I was just curious. I was like, well, I'm wondering, like, hey, do they have the tickets for next year already in here? I went in and I looked and I was like, oh my goodness, what did I pay last year? The price went up, and my rep didn't say anything about prices going up. He said nothing about prices going up. And I was like, wow, what did I pay last year? I was like, did I pay this last year? I don't remember paying this. So I looked at what I paid last year. I was like, oh, wow, this doubled in price. I couldn't believe it. So then I went on Twitter, and then I see Sky season ticket holders messaging, and I think it was maybe the next day, or I can't remember if it was that same day or the next day, but I go on Twitter and I see Sky season ticket holders complaining. They're saying, hey, my price is doubled and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, they rose everybody's. They rose everybody prices. And I was like, wow. And so people were saying that their reps were reaching out to them. And I was like, I was like, oh man, I was like, my rep didn't say nothing about the prices going up. I was talking to him about getting 2 more tickets. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, do I really want 2 more tickets? Because I'm like, I don't even know if I don't know if I can afford that. Like, it's some money, guys. It is some money. And I was like, whoa. And then eventually I think that next day I got or maybe it was later that day, I can't remember. Soon after, I got an email from my rep that said, to view your invoice for next season, go here. It's going to auto renew on like August something or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's official. That wasn't a mistake. The prices really did go up. And so I know of a lot of fans who are actually like really, really mad. A lot of, like, once that was put out there, that the prices went up on everybody, I saw a lot of people complaining and saying, what are we getting for the price? What are we getting? Y'all don't give us nothing. Like, we get some terrible thank you gifts and all this other stuff. And I was like, I started to get a little salty myself. I was like, man, yeah, where's the money going? You double my price and all this stuff. And I get it. Inflation, I get it. But like, double? Like, I don't know. It felt a little bit much. And I'm like, you don't even have a practice facility. Like Like what is the money going to? And now we know what the money is going to. The money is going to this practice facility, paying for the private chef that they're about to get, and all the other stuff that's happening. So my frustration initially at the price. I mean, I'm still not gonna be happy to like pay the price because again, it really did double. My tickets really did double. And others, I've seen other people who said, I actually saw somebody who said their tickets more than doubled. And I was like, whoa, like it was like, to be honest with you, I was actually, I'm actually very, very grateful that I have this channel. Because truly guys, I don't know if I could afford the tickets without it. Without this channel, I don't think I could afford the tickets for next year. Like, because you all have given super chats, because you all have subscribed to me on Patreon, because you all have watched my videos and they've been like some ads. Yeah, you all watch a lot of ads, but I make like, a couple cents per I don't know, $1 or so per 1,000 people watch the ad or whatever. But all of that has added up to a decent amount that actually allows me to actually rebuy tickets to get the same seats I have next year. So that is really, really, really awesome. So thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for all of the things that you all have given me on this channel, because of you guys, truly, literally because of you guys, I am actually able to afford the tickets for next year. Because I could afford it on last year's prices. Last year prices, because the thing is, I plan for this. Like literally every year, that's my splurge. Every single year, that's my splurge. Is I splurge for Sky tickets, and I splurge for Red Stars tickets. That's literally what I do. All right, that's literally what I do every single year. That's what I plan for. I don't go on vacations. I don't do anything crazy. Like that's literally, the Sky gets a lot of my money. The WNBA makes a lot of money off of me because of my support, not just tickets but like, merch and parking and all this other stuff. So they've made a lot of money off of me over the years. And because of you guys, I'm actually able to afford the tickets next year. So thank you. Rena says, by how much they're going up? My tickets went up 50%. All right, my tickets went up 50%. Other people, I don't know. I've seen other people say that they've gone. I've seen people say anywhere from like 50% to I think I saw somebody say like 60% as well. So yeah, that's something to note. But my tickets personally, my personal tickets, again, I have 2 tickets for every game. Those rose by 50%, or they doubled in price. So literally what they were last year, just double it, and that's what my price is this year. And to think, I was thinking about getting 2 extra tickets. I don't know if I can do that anymore now. To think, guys, to think. Alessandra says, are you going to Lala, Quita? No, that's not my vibe. I do know some colleagues that are going to, some of my colleagues are going to Lala, and I'm like, more power to them. It's not my scene, guys. Not my scene at all. If y'all know anything about me, y'all know I don't listen to any artist that would be at Lala. I don't listen to any artist that would be at Lala. I think if I went, I would be like an old man on the porch, upset at these young people going crazy and acting silly. I think I would not have a good time if I was there. Okay, I would not have a good time if I was there at all. So no, I'm not going to Lala. Never will. Never have. Never will. Don't do music festivals because there is no, they don't play the music I like. They don't play the music I listen to. So no, no. All right. Let's see. Donald says, you need to get a producer, and start going over doing interview sessions. That would be cool, but to be quite honest with you, producers cost money, and I don't have it. So unfortunately, no, I can't. I love the idea though, and it may be possible for me to try to I try my best to continue to improve this channel. Like I try, like you've probably y'all have seen this. If y'all have been around for a while, y'all have seen these iterations of this channel and how I've improved my quality of the video quality. I've improved the graphics, the mic. I've tried to improve stuff and make stuff better, and then try to do like series and whatnot. And like the only thing is like literally everything I do is like literally just me. Unfortunately, I don't have a producer. I probably never will get one unless I go big or something, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. But for right now, I'm going to try to do the best. I'm going to do the best with what I got. I have there's a lot of stuff that I have in my mind that I want to do and whatnot. It's just about one, having the time to do it and whatnot, and making it really happen. But no, I don't have a producer. Probably never will get one. And also, guys, I'm like a very like, while online, it may seem like I am like crazy social. I'm actually not in real life. Like I'm not like a crazy like social like I'm not a social butterfly. I'm like pretty awkward. I'm like a pretty awkward person. So like, the solo deal also works for me personally, because I'm a obsessor. So I obsess about women's basketball, and so like literally I can go with having much of no sleep, because I'm working on something, and I can spend hours and hours and hours prepping for videos and editing, and like I can do that because it's just my time. I can regulate my time like that, but I don't know. I think it'd be complicated also, even if I could afford a producer to like figure out how to work with that person. But like, yeah, I do want to improve my stuff. I do want to get interviews. It's just I need to figure out a way to do it while juggling an actual job, while also being present with my family, also while making sure that I am going to church and my spiritual life isn't like crazy. Like it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. But yes, Donald, absolutely. I do hear what you're saying. I absolutely do hear what you're saying about getting a producer and doing interviews. I do want to do interviews. I don't know about the producer part, but the interviews I think I could possibly do if I like figure out a way to do it. All right. And actually get people to say yes to me. Guys, I think the problem that I have is that I see a lot of people get interviews with like players and coaches and whatnot. And I think the problem that I have is that because I'm not an actual journalist, I don't know how to ask people. Like, I don't know the proper way to ask people to do an interview. Like, I don't know the proper channels. And so I'm like, sometimes I'm like, how did they get this interview? Because I'm like, because I think they're doing more than just like randomly DMing someone. And I don't know places to go. Like I don't know how to get whoever from a school to reach back out to me to allow me to do an interview with one of their players, or like even the WNBA. I don't know how to get someone, like I don't know who to reach out to or how to get someone to reply. So that's something that I personally have to figure out. Just like who the contact people are, because I'm like, I think a lot of people, most of the people who are in the W space with like actual platforms, they're all journalists, and I think they all know how to do stuff. In journalism school, I guess they learn how to do stuff, and I am just a random person who is obsessed with women's basketball, and I think there's just a level of understanding that they have that I don't have. Okay. And I think that's why people get interviews and I don't. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But I also, guys, like I'm also cool. I'm also cool. I'm also very cool with where I'm at though. Yes, I absolutely do want to expand and whatnot. Um, but also, um, I'm cool if I don't. Like I'm I want growth, but I'm also content. Like I'm not like striving for like you know some crazy dream or whatever. I just want to cover women's basketball, like truly, like that's my passion. And as long as I can cover women's basketball, I'm good. Like I'm cool. Like I'm cool. Let's see, what y'all got to say. Um, I love you guys too. Love you guys too. Love y'all too. Y'all some awesome people. You said I'm the 13th sky player. I should be, y'all. The way I rep for this team, the way I rep for these teams, and none of these players actually know me. The way I rep for them, they don't know who in the world I am. Oh man. But I tell you this, I have met 4 Sky players ever, as like an adult. I mean, when I was a kid, you go through, after games. I don't know if other teams did this, but the Sky did this. After games, they would have a table sort of in like the lobby area of sorts. This was back when I think this was like the UIC days. So when the Sky first started, they were at UIC. I believe this was the UIC days. After the game was over, they would set up a table, and fans, mainly kids, would stand in line and then get a signature from the players. Now I met some players back then getting a signature, but I don't remember. I don't remember like I've met players as a kid, but there's only 4 players that I've met as an adult. I've met and meeting means taking a photo. I didn't actually have a conversation with any of them, but I took a photo with them. I took a photo with Allie Quigley and Courtney Vandersloot. I was at an event and I saw them and I like literally freaked out. I was like, oh my god, it's Allie. Oh my god, it's Courtney. Oh my god. Because again, guys, I'm socially awkward, so it's very awkward for me. I'm pretty sure they were probably like, "Oh, this girl's a weirdo." But yeah, I asked if they could take a photo with me. So I got a photo. I got a photo with both Courtney and Allie, which is really cool. Like I was cheesing so hard. Also, I got a photo last year with both Marina Mabry and Courtney Williams. So I got a photo with them. We had it was a fan appreciation event after a game. It was outside, y'all. It was outside. It was hot. They had us take a bus to a random McCormick Place lot, and they brought both Courtney and Marina over to like just be there or whatever. And I ended up taking a photo with both of them, and that was really fun. I didn't get to say anything to them, but it was just like stand in line, quick photo. You guys are awesome, and that's it. So those are the only players I've actually met, but they don't actually know who I am. They just, they probably hear me though. They probably hear me. I guarantee the players, they hear me, yelling at the games, but they don't know who I am though. Oh man, Allison says you should look into counting your tickets as a business expense. By the way, oh, that's a good idea. I'll look into that. I will look into that. Donald says you should try to get press passes. They are letting podcasts. They were letting podcasts in the All-Star game. Yeah, I need to look into that. I think Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. I got to. Let's see. Element says, Donald, did we just become best friends? I'm saying people come together on YouTube. I'm saying we like one awesome people of the internet family right here. We getting unified. All right. Element Gold and Donald. Friends forever. Friends at last. Let's see. That's funny to think about. That is funny to think about, Rachel. She said, "You have more subscribers than Wintrust has seats. Try to get those press credentials." Yeah, I really need to see about that. I really do. I really do. Ferris says, "Squiddy, if I see you, I'm a fan." Okay. Fair warning. I may be a little awkward. But yeah, I would love to meet you guys, but just don't take it personal if I look awkward, because that's just me. That's just me as a person. Paris says, so Quita is the female Mick. Yo, who's Mick? Who is Mick? I'm confused. Who is Mick? Please let me know. I don't maybe I'm blanking. Maybe I know who this person is. I'm just blanking on who this I don't know. Paris, can you clarify, please? Please, can you clarify who is Mick? Element says, what up, awesome people, awkward people of the internet. That's funny. That's funny. That is funny. Alessandra says, I went to school of video production and marketing. If I lived in Chicago, I'd help you out if I could. Oh, all good. All good. I appreciate the sentiment. I really do appreciate the sentiment. I'm cool though. It's not like I'm not like I'm not like you know, desperate or anything. I'm cool. I'm happy to keep going the way I'm going. But also, I'm hoping to get better as well. I'm hoping to get better. And guys, also I'm very like particular. Like I'm very yeah. So but anyway, let's see. Element says the players' agents might be on the lookout for exposure. Who are the players' PR representatives? Would be a good question. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know who the PR people for WNBA players are. Like, they don't actually put it on. Like, they don't put it anywhere. Like, it's no like. Is there like a document or something? Is there a document where you can find that information? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I absolutely should reach out if I know them. KT says, Quita, let KT be your co-host. Eventually, I gotta bring people back up. Guys, at one point, I was offering the Patreon folks to hop on live on Fridays to do a segment about something, but nobody wanted to do it but Michael. And Revenge to it, aka Michael, is awesome. He's moving, by the way, so I hope his moving is going well. He was awesome, but he was the only person who wanted to do it. Nobody else on Patreon wanted to hop on live. Let's see. Road 2 says, Quita, your content is solid and not a bunch of blah blah and noise, but straight up basketball knowledge. That's what I hope. Like today's stream is very crazy, scattered, not very structured. But usually, yes, absolutely. Usually I do try to make sure this content is top notch, and I really don't want to just talk, even though like this is more like a chill stream. But usually I try to be particular. But I appreciate you. I try to share my knowledge because guys, I just know a lot of random stuff. Like it just I don't know. Uh, Element, I don't know if that's true. Element says I'm too unstable. My thoughts run wild and can be uncomfortable. Q calms me, um, I would need someone to muzzle me on, uh, keep a muzzle on me most of the day. uh, okay, so my thoughts run wild too and are crazy too. So I think we're all in the same spot. I think we're all in the same spot on that one. Um, Rachel says it'll be different when you're working. You'd be fine and have great questions. Yeah, yeah. I think if I actually interviewed these players, yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of questions actually. I could probably I could have a long, detailed, very specific interviews with players to get like nitty gritty details that are very interesting because I just have a long history of knowledge about these players and like what they've done and like how they've gotten to where they are, and then I can ask random questions about when they were in college and like this particular thing happened. What did you like? How'd you feel? Like I have a lot of questions that I could ask these players. It was when I met, Allie and well, took a picture. I didn't actually talk to him really, but when I took a picture with Allie and Courtney and even um uh Courtney Williams and Marina Mabry, it was literally it was as a fan, right? Like it was me, the fan, wanting to get a photo, and I knew that they didn't have time, and I didn't want to be the jerk because sometimes, do y'all know this? Sometimes when y'all stand in line, sometimes when y'all stand in line for photos, you have the person in front of you that decides they are the main. They have like main character energy where they're like, I am the main character. I am the main person. So I am going to take this opportunity while I'm at the front of the line to have a super long conversation with the person I'm taking a picture with, and it makes everybody in the line upset. I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to avoid being that guy. So I was just like, oh, let's take a picture real quick. You guys are the best. Bye. That type of thing. Because guys, it does annoy me when people are like that and they're like, you know, you're like, hey, there's a long line of people waiting to take a photo, and you want to talk, you want to have a real conversation with these people, and they trying to be nice, but they like, but they like, please, I have the next person I need to take a photo with. I don't know. So I was trying not to be that guy. So that's why I didn't actually say that's why I didn't really say anything and ask them real questions and whatnot. But I do actually have like a lot of questions that I would absolutely love to ask them if it was an actual interview. Tony G says, love the shirt. Yeah, this is a fantastic shirt. This shirt is by a company called uh, Faithlets. I think that's how it's called. So it's a Christian clothing brand, and the thing I love is they take Bible things that happen in the Bible and they make it like a cool shirt. Like this one is they literally took the story of Jonah, like get swallowed by the whale, and they read the story of Jonah. But anyway, they took that as a thing and they had Live in Nineveh postponed. Like if you know the story of Jonah, you get it. Like that's like actually hilarious. To me, this shirt was a Christian humor shirt. That's why I got the shirt because I love some random I love some random Christian humor. So it's like Live in Nineveh, Jonah, and it says and the whales. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, so I got the shirt. I thought it was funny. Isabel says Mick is another. Oh, Oh, okay. Yeah, Mick Talk Sports. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, sorry, I didn't know specifically which. I didn't know. Um, I know who Mick Talk Sports is. I just didn't know that was who you were talking about. But yeah, Mick Talk Sports be putting out content after content after content. I don't actually like watch a lot of the videos, mainly because I actually really don't have time to really watch what other YouTubers are doing, because I'm like crazily focused on my stuff as is. But I feel like that dude be putting out, like, it feels like 4 or 5 videos every single day. I'm like, wow. Like, do you have another job? Like, man, that'd be cool if like I was able to do that, but I just literally don't have the time. um. All right. Paris says, "Quitty, you know Christians can lie, right? We don't see no awkwards." That's the thing. It's still it's me. Like I really am an awkward person. Like I don't know. I guess maybe you like. I think in certain spaces at certain times I can be very like engaging, very like sure, like visually sure of like what's happening and whatnot, and very confident. But in a lot of my life, I'm awkward. All right. The reason why I don't seem awkward on this channel is because literally I created it. Like, this is my thing. This is like, I feel like I have some sort of like ownership over this. But like in regular life, like, I'm going to the store, I'm going just to do random stuff. I'm my normal awkward self. But when I turn on the camera and whatnot, like I'm still me. I'm just a more energetic version of me. Like the same thing at work. Like at work, people are like, "Wow, you're so outgoing. You're so energetic." I'm like, "No, I don't think you realize that my awkwardness, because it just doesn't show at work for some, like, I don't know why. Like, it just, mainly because I've been there a long time and like I've outlasted people. So when I first started, I was very awkward, and then people started to leave, and it got to the point where I was like a senior person at my company, and now I'm no longer awkward. So the last couple of years, people are like, "You're the most outgoing person ever at this company." The reason why, because I've outlasted everybody. So I feel like now I have confidence because I've outlived some people at the company, and now I can now I express myself in a different way. I'm not as awkward. But yeah, so that I that I think a lot of people have like the dynamic of being like, you're still you, but you're just a different version of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing, but I feel like that's other people too. Let's see. Rick says Mick talk hoops. He's from Ireland. Yeah, he has an accent. I like his accent. He has a cool accent. Um, Donald, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Donald. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. I appreciate that. You definitely didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. Like truly, I appreciate how y'all rock with me. Like it's just it truly continues to blow my mind that y'all actually rocking with me, guys. We got 100 people in the chat right now. 100 people on a Friday night when y'all could be doing literally anything. So it's crazy. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really, really do. Lindy says, "Can you talk about the rule change with playing overseas regarding suspensions? Do you mean the rule change that happened like, I don't know, what was that, a season or so ago, maybe 2 seasons ago, where if you show up late for training camp, There's a penalty associated with it, and it affects it more so affects people who've been who are longer in their career than the sort of early goers. The basic idea is, if Lindy, if this is what you're talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, if this is not what you're talking about, but the reason why the WNBA created that, it's a prioritization rule. That's what it's called. It's a prioritization rule. And the reason why they created it is because for years we saw a thing with the WNBA when it would get to the WNBA season and we would have players that would come in late. Sometimes players would come in at the end of training camp. Sometimes we'd see some players come in the second week of the league. At times, I remember I always would count the first week or so, a week or 2 weeks of the WNBA as a sort of a trial period, because you had players on the roster who weren't really going to be on the roster once the real not the real players, but once the main players actually came back from overseas. So because this was an issue, and for years, the WNBA had a problem with players just coming in late, because, guys, a lot of players in the WNBA play all season. They play all season. They play in Europe, they play in Asia, and sometimes, especially if they're going to the playoffs and getting further along in that, it interferes with the WNBA. And the WNBA wants to be the main focus when it comes to women's basketball. They want to be the main focus, and so you are sort of penalized. So, guys, the thing to note is that here are the rules. If a player shows up late to training camp, they're going to be fined. They're going to be fined 1% of their base salary for every day they miss of training camp. All right. If you have not reported to your WNBA team at the start of the season, you will be suspended the entire season. All right. I'm sorry. That was for 2013. Sorry for this rule. For 2024 and beyond, you have to report at the start of camp. All right, you have to report. And yes, Lindy, I just saw your message. Here, let me pull it up on the screen so everybody can see it. Says it was something about suspension for the whole season. When Stewie talked about Rival, she said something about it. Yep. It sounded like it changed, because it did. It did. So initially what I was saying was the 2013 rules. Actually, it did change. So no longer are you fined 1% for missing a day of training camp. Now, if you do not report to training camp at the start of training camp, you will be suspended for the entire year. So for this year, it was either you had to report at the start of training camp or May 1st. If you do not report, you are suspended for the entire year. And this is what Stewie and Nafisa Collier and them creating this unrivaled league. This allows players to not have to worry about it, because if you sign up for a European team, you're kind of screwed, because if you make it far in the playoffs, you might wind up in a situation where you're late to come back to America. You are late for training camp, thus you're done. You're suspended for the entire season. You can't play that year because you were you missed. Now, there are some exceptions. Because if you are injured, you are fine, and you can report later. All right. If you are injured, you can report later. So, for example, if you all remember, at the beginning of the season, the Indiana Fever had 13 players on the roster. They had 13 players on the roster, and I don't know if you all remembered why they had that. But luckily for you, I do. If you happen to have forgot, so the 13th player on the roster that was not there at the start of the season was Demirs Dantas. So Demirs Dantas, she was injured. Also, I believe she had a death in her family. And it was a combination of both of those things that the WNBA allowed her to report later. So we see, we saw the news a month ago now that the Fever waived Celeste Taylor and they brought on Demirs Dantas. Demirs Dantas was already on the original roster because remember initially they had 13 players and they had Demirs Dantas in I believe it was called a suspension setting because again she was dealing with an injury and also I believe it was a death in her family. I believe. I have to look back to like double check that, but it was something that specifically happened to her, which is why she was an exception, and that's why she was able to she was able to play for the Fever and not be suspended the whole season. All right, so there are some exceptions here or there, but you have to arrive at the start of training camp. If you don't, you will be suspended for the entire season. All right, that is a new rule that came into effect this season. All right, this is a part of the WNBA's prioritization rule to make sure that WNBA players are all ready to go. All right, so hopefully, Lindy, that made sense to you. Hopefully, that answered your question. Thank you so much for asking questions like this, guys. Please ask your random questions. I will try my best to get to it. I really will. If I don't get to it, I do apologize. But I do try my best. Try my best to get to all y'all questions. Let's see. Rotu says, "LOL, Quita, I get that shirt humor. Good one. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I was trying to think of like some women's basketball humor to put on the shirt, but I couldn't think of anything. But guys, speaking of shirts, get my merch, QLSapparel.com, QLSapparel.com. We have seen, I believe, 40 shirt orders, and I am very much appreciative of that. So if you are in the number, if you are one of those 40 who have purchased a shirt from me, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing that. Because guys, again, it says a lot that for the folks who've literally spent their hard earned. Can I talk right now? Oh my goodness. For people who have spent their hard-earned money to, buy a shirt from me, I think I appreciate it. I thank you so much. But yeah, if y'all want some merch, y'all can get it at QLSapparel.com, QLSapparel.com. All of my shirts are getting washed right now. They're not getting washed right now. They're all dirty right now. I'll probably wash them tomorrow. But that's why I'm not wearing my own shirt. Yeah, I love shirts with writing on it. Like I'm like one of those like people who I'm a rock with shirts with writing on it. Like that's my vibe, okay? Oh, okay. So y'all get what I was saying. Y'all understand what I was saying about the the awkwardness. Yeah. So Lindy says time makes you comfortable. That's normal. Yeah. Paris says, so you DT'd everybody. I love what you did there. Yes, I did. I just outlast people, and as I outlast people, I feel more and more comfortable. Oh man. Outsider says, I totally get that. It's like the difference between being a freshman to a senior. Yeah. Absolutely. By the time you get to your senior year, you're crazy comfortable. You're like, oh, this is old news. I'm all good with all this stuff. I'm whatever. Anyway, guys. Paris said, would you ever go to a 3x3 game for Unrivaled? Yes, I will be. Hopefully. hopefully I'll be able to go to Unrivaled. At least one game, hopefully. Allison, do your laundry. Do your laundry, Allison. Frederick, I don't know. I think maybe she's more like I guess she's playing the culture fit role. It seems. But she doesn't play, so I don't know. I don't know. It could just be the culture fit role. Um. So guys, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. We went completely off the rails, so my apologies for that. Y'all know sometimes not a great trait of mine, but it's sometimes that's just what happens. But I wait, no, that's not what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the return of college basketball. All right. We are 100 days away from the start of women's college basketball, and I wanted. Wait, what? Okay. I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to celebrate the fact that we're almost here. You know, we're in the middle of the Olympics. The WNBA season is about to finish up. We have a new league that we've been talking about recently. But guys, the main thing is still the main thing. And the main thing when it comes to women's basketball is NCAA women's college basketball. That is the biggest thing. It brings the biggest numbers. It brings the biggest crowds. It is what everybody loves to talk about. And we are just 100 days away from the season starting. Now, guys, I love this. I am excited about this. And what I wanted to do is I'm not going to give you all like true predictions for the season. I'm not gonna give that to you because that's a future video. That is a future video that I'm gonna work on. However, I do want to talk about what I am personally most excited about for this upcoming year, and I do want to hear you all's thoughts. Okay, so I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Now, guys. Women's college basketball, again, we're 100 days away. We about to have a fun time talking about women's college basketball because there are a lot of changes that have happened. A whole lot of changes because, guys, we saw a whole conference get dismantled basically right in front of our eyes. The Pac-12 is basically no longer. We've seen conferences move, and I am very, very much interested to see what happens because, guys, realignment has changed everything. It has absolutely changed everything, and I want you all to sort of recognize this. And I think it specifically affects two conferences more than everybody else. All right, so guys, the Stanford Cardinals. The Stanford team that's been absolutely dominant for seems like decades when it comes to women's college basketball in the Pac-12. That Stanford is now in the ACC. All right. Stanford is in the ACC, but they're not alone. Cal is there as well, and so that's something to note. Now, guys, I think Stanford going to the ACC is going to be absolutely huge. Yes, Kiki Era-Offen left Stanford because Tara Vanderveer retired and whatnot. They have their assistant coach who is now the head coach of the squad and whatnot. But the thing I want to talk about is not the fact that Stanford is going to be an elite squad right off the get go in the ACC. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not anticipating that they win an ACC championship. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is give Stanford about 2 to 3 more years. Oh, and they about to go. They about to go in the ACC. Give them 2 to 3 more years. They're about to make some noise in the ACC. Yes, right now they're not gonna be that great, right? They're not gonna be that great to start because again they lost their best player. They lost 2 of their best players. One to the WNBA, the other going right up the street to USC. But give them a couple years in the ACC. They about to recruit like crazy, and they about to make some noise. Okay, so I'm very much excited to watch Stanford in the ACC this year. Will they win? Will they be at the top of the conference? Top half, absolutely. Further than that, I don't know. But I'm excited to watch them. I think it's gonna be fun to watch. Also, guys, the Big Ten has gotten even bigger. At this point, maybe they should just call the Big Ten big. The big. Maybe that's what they should be called. I don't know. It's way more than 10 teams now. It's been way more than 10 teams for a while, but even more than 10 teams, because they got Oregon, Washington, and most importantly, USC that is going to the Big Ten. Now, guys, I for one am kind of very excited about the fact that also guys, UCLA is going there too. UCLA is going to the Big Ten, and guys, I for one am very excited about this because this means that games will be way more accessible for me to watch, because we're gonna see a lot of earlier games. Last year for the Pac-12, I missed a lot of Pac-12 games live because they were on when I was about to go to sleep. All right. Now that USC is in the Big Ten, now that UCLA is in the Big Ten, I am excited to watch way more of their games live because it's going to be easier for me. And possibly, hopefully, maybe I'll be able to actually go to actually see some of these games. Hopefully. Fingers crossed that the finances be financing. We can make that happen. But I am very much excited to see that because, guys, I say guys a lot. I probably need to figure out a different word to say. But Kiki Air-Afen. We got Juju Watkins on the same team at USC. Guys, mark my words. This is going to be the battle of the real USC. Who's the real USC? Is it South Carolina? Is it University of Southern California? Who is it? Who is the real SC? Will the real SC please stand up? Will they please stand up? Please stand up. Will the real one please stand up? That's what we're seeing. That's what we're gonna see this year. I love it. And also you have Talia Von Oelhoffen, who's on USC as well. There's going to be a lot to watch when it comes to USC. USC, in my opinion, will win the Big Ten tournament. They're going to win it. They're in it to win it, and I think they're going to get it. Yes, UCLA is going to give them a challenge, but guys, I think this is USC. I am so excited about this. I am so excited about watching the new Big Ten, which they need to figure out a different name for it. Got to figure out a different name. I'm so excited about that because this is about to be fun. This is about to be fun. And guys, we have some awesome games to look forward to. We have some awesome games. All right. with Thanksgiving, we're going to see Notre Dame versus USC on November 23rd. All right. Notre Dame versus Tennessee. We about to see Juju versus Hannah. All right. And I'm excited about it. Okay. Mark your calendars, November 23rd. And then the next day, mark your calendars again, because we got South Carolina versus UCLA. Another non-conference game that is going to be really, really, really fun to watch. Guys, I'm excited. I'm excited about the future of women's basketball. I am excited about the college basketball season being 100 days away, because yes, we talk a lot about WNBA, a lot about the Olympics and whatnot. I have not talked much about college basketball, but guys, that college basketball content is about to start stirring back up. It's about to start stirring back up because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I want to make some videos about some of the key players that need to be on your watch list coming into this upcoming season. I want to talk about some of the key matchups. Yes, I talked about two. Again, that Notre Dame versus USC game. That is University of Southern California. That game is on November the 23rd. Fire game. Also, South Carolina versus UCLA. Huge game. That one's going to be November the 24th. There's a lot more other. That makes no sense. There's a lot more games that I'm excited about and that you all should absolutely watch out for. I will make a separate video truly going down the list of some of the games that you all need to be watching. So please I'll watch out for that. Oh, sorry, William. I missed the super chat. I apologize. Thanks so much, William, for the super chat. Says, is Cheryl Peeve still the USA coach or not? Man, the shade, William, the shade. Yes, Cheryl Reeve is still the USA head coach. Thing to note is she will not be the head coach after this year is over. This is a tradition that USA basketball kind of always does. Every Olympics they have a different head coach. The last Olympics it was Don Staley. The Olympics before that, I forgot exactly who. I forgot exactly who. Was it Gino? I can't remember exactly who was the coach before that. I think it might have been Gino. Anyway, that I can't remember. I had to look that up. That's not in my head. But every Olympics, the Olympic Committee for USA Basketball for women, they changed out the coach. All right. So after this Olympics is over, they're going to announce. I'm not sure exactly the timeline of when exactly they'll announce it, but after this Olympics is over, they're going to announce a new head coach. Usually, it's someone from the pipeline. So right now, there are several assistant coaches for Team USA, and I think it's probably going to be one of those coaches. Yeah. So that's something to note. That is something to note. If you all are curious about who the current assistant coaches is Kara Lawson's one of the assistant coaches. Kara Lawson is the head coach for Duke, if you don't know. Also, Joni Taylor is also with Team USA as an assistant coach right now. She is the coach of Texas A&M. And also we have Mike Tebow, whose son is currently coaching for the Washington Mystics, but I believe he is the GM, I believe he's the GM of the Washington Mystics. But yeah, those three are the assistant coaches. So you have Cheryl Reeves, the head coach, and you have Mike Tebow, Kara Lawson, and Joni Taylor as the assistant coaches. I do believe that the next head coach for USA Basketball will be one of those coaches. I'm leaning towards Kara Lawson. Yes, Mike Tebow has a longer track record. However, the fact that Mike Tebow is not currently a head coach for a team, he's just I believe the GM for the Washington Mystics. I do think that is probably gonna take him out of the running for that that position. So I do believe the next head coach for Team USA 5-on-5 is going to be Kara Lawson. I think, but we'll see. It's going to be somebody else. It's not going to be Cheryl Reeve. And this has nothing to do with how good or bad of a job Cheryl Reeve has done. This is tradition for Team USA. This is what they do. They change out the head coach. That's just what they do. All right. So that is something to note. Hopefully that makes sense, William. And I do apologize for taking so long to answer your super chat. I apologize for that. Sometimes I miss it and I just like my head is just like going with like comments and I forget. So my apologies. Let's see some more questions. Allison says, can you do a video about the seniors to watch? I love a look at who we could see in the next WNBA draft. Yes. I also did get a request about a mock WNBA draft. I can do that. So yeah, I will absolutely do that. Frederick is asking, where do I see Paige landing in the W? She'll be the number 1 pick. And I think the team that probably will have the number 1 pick is the Dallas Wings. Yeah, I think the Dallas Wings probably going to have the number 1 pick. So yeah, the Wings. We'll see. Bear says, Quita, your mind is like a computer. How do you keep all that in your head? I don't know. Just keep it. But also, guys, I'm like a sporadic note taker. So I have like random documents with like random bits of information. And sometimes if I need to find something, I'll like find it real quick and say the answer. Like for example, the assistant coaches, I couldn't remember all the assistant coaches, so I just found where that's at and then read it out. But like for the most part, I just my life is kind of centered around basketball, so I just know a lot of random stuff and it just stores in my head. You know, you can only keep a finite of things in your head at a time, and for me, a lot of it is about women's basketball. Why? I don't know. Is it helpful in real life? No, it's not helpful in real life, but you know, that's how it works. William says, thank heavens about Cheryl Reeve. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Oh no. You're not a fan of Cheryl Reeve? I mean, you gotta admit, Cheryl Reeves is a fantastic coach. She is. You may not like her, but like she's a fantastic coach. She is a fantastic coach. Francis, I'm not sure when the next FIBA team is named. I'm not sure at all. Not sure what to tell you. Yeah, Carol Lawson's great. Yep. Though she doesn't rock the orange anymore, she rocks the blue. The blue for Duke. Rita asks, do you think Leslie Parker or Miller will coach for Unrivaled? Possibly. I could absolutely see them giving it to offering it to one of those former players. William says there are at least 2 recent YouTube videos suggesting Reeve got ejected. Maybe they're talking about, maybe it's like a clickbaity thing that's talking about some old games, but Cheryl Reeve has not recently gotten ejected. She's not recently gotten ejected. So I'm that's probably just like a clickbait, rage bait. They know people that, you know, YouTubers know that some people really don't like Cheryl Reeve, and they're like, maybe if I make a video, and I don't know exactly what videos you're talking about, so I'm just speculating, but it's probably like, if I can make a video about Cheryl Reeve flying off the handle or something and getting ejected, I'm gonna get a lot of people to watch my video. I think it's possible that is the reasoning that whoever made that video, but like Cheryl Reeve has not recently gotten ejected. Not recently. So I guess I'm confused. When did I don't know when she recently got ejected. I can't think of it. I can't think of a recent time that Cheryl Reeve was actually ejected. I think this is a old story that someone wants to rage bait on. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because when did that happen? You know, when did this happen? So that's my thing. Yeah, so she didn't get ejected. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what, if someone made a video about that. I don't know what they're talking about. When did she get ejected? Well, definitely wasn't recently. It definitely wasn't recently. So so yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's confusing, actually. Yeah, so so yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts about that, because she hasn't. Like I literally I watch a lot of Minnesota games, like a lot. Like, I cannot remember the last time in the last 2 years when she got ejected. Like I can't remember. I can't remember it. And maybe, again, I don't have the I'm not the total authority on like everything women's basketball, but like I don't have a memory of her getting ejected recently. So yeah, I think this is rage bait. I think this is I'm gonna Google this thing. What is this? Dang, y'all! I think I just found the video that who asked that question about this, about Shore Reeve. Was that William? Somebody asked that question, and it got me on this rabbit hole. It was William that asked the question. William, this I just YouTubed it, and somebody said just happened. Shore Reeve got ejected from Team USA. That did not just happen. And guys, this video has 223,000 viewers. What lies? What lies, guys? What in the world? I don't get it. I don't get it. I have not watched the video, but it's definitely not true. It's an example of how you can literally say anything to get people to rage bait and click on your stuff and watch. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, wow, this person has 223,000 views from 3 days ago. I've never hit anything close to that. But also, guys, I don't do rage bait material. There's also that's about lies. Like this is an absolute lie. Just happened! Exclamation point! Shore Reeve got ejected from Team USA. This never happened. What is this person talking about? Like what? The lies, man. The lies. What are we doing? Thank you so much, William, for the second super chat. Says that's why I asked you. You can be trusted. Yeah, but I tell you, man, like I tell you, women's basketball, people have found the treasure trove when it comes to women's basketball. They have found that certain names, if you create a crazy headline about something about Caitlin Clark that's negative to the rest of the WNBA, something about Shore Reeve that is very terrible because now people don't like her anymore because they think she's anti-Caitlin Clark, and that's whatever. Anything terrible about Angel Reese, or just anything else that's just sort of dunking on the WNBA and how terrible the WNBA is. That stuff, if you can make content about that, you're getting, several thousand, several 100,000, even close to 1 million views about that. It sells. Rage sells, man. But explaining what's happening in the WNBA, explaining what's happening in the world of the WNBA in college basketball, explaining on here's why you should care about this, here's what this person like sort of actually really giving analysis and real commentary about women's basketball. It doesn't really get you views. Not like these people. And personally, I don't want to grow like that. Sure, it would be absolutely fantastic if I could get that. It'd be absolutely fantastic. It'd be great if I can get 1/10 of what this person is doing. Literally. I'm literally looking at this person's page and I'm like, what? 6 minutes ago, Cheryl Reeves shared a terrifying message. She never shared it 6 minutes ago. What message are you talking about? She hasn't. Cheryl Reeves has not talked since we last saw Team USA play Germany a couple days ago. Posted 3 hours ago. That wasn't 6. Like what is going on? 4 minutes ago, Cheryl Reeves and Team USA under fire after Caitlin exposed them. What? Caitlin didn't expose anybody. Quote, "It's all your fault" in the thumbnail. No one said that. What are we talking about? Guys, this is toxic for women's basketball. This is toxic. Because you don't care about women's basketball. You don't care. You care about clicks and views and the YouTube revenue that comes from it. That's what you care about. And absolutely, as a person on YouTube, absolutely, I would love to actually make money where I could actually possibly do this for real. If I got this person's views, yeah, I could actually make this a thing, possibly. 71,000, 81,000, 223,000, 266. Like, if I can get that, absolutely, I can make this a real thing. But you can't get that doing regular commentary, informing people about what's happening. Y'all rock with me. Y'all absolutely rock with me. But lying on the internet gives you a lot. Lying on the internet, exaggerating stuff to no end, rage baiting to basically create the impression that the WNBA is this horrible place that is terrible to certain people. All of that will give you views, give you ratings, give you money. But at the end of the day, it's all built on a lie. Yes, most of the people who watch those videos will not recognize the lie. But you are lying about real people. Why do that? I don't get it. There's so many troll channels. All you want to do is clickbait. You hate the WNBA, but you love to hate the WNBA because the WNBA is actually what's giving you a lot of money. You're raking in the dough, talking about how terrible the WNBA is while lying on the WNBA. It's a different thing if it's the truth. If it's something negative about the WNBA and it's true, I ain't got no problem with it. But if you lying, if you making all this stuff up to get people to rage click, and in the comments, oh, this is why the WNBA sucks. The whole thing was a lie, though. And people use all of this. all these videos to basically create a narrative about the WNBA is this, the WNBA is XYZ, and that's why I don't like it. But all your reasonings was built on a lie, though. None of it was true. But you don't know that because you don't follow anybody who actually really talks about the WNBA. And so I think, yeah, it's ridiculous. It absolutely is. And it frustrates the best out of me. But, you know, that's the way of the world. That is the way of the world. If you can make people angry, making people angry is the most profitable. Making people angry and scared is the most profitable emotions. Most profitable emotions. If I can make you scared, or if I can make you angry, I can make a lot of money from you. A lot. But people shouldn't be angry all the time. People shouldn't be angry all the time, and everything is not worth being angry over. All right. So at this channel, you're not getting clickbaity news that is literally lying. It's okay to incentivize people to click. I do make thumbnails to get people to click. I do want people to click. Absolutely. But I'm not lying. I'm not deceiving people. All right. But it seems like nowadays that's the main way to grow. That's the main way to get volume. If you actually want to make a real living off of it, that's what you need to do. Unfortunately, that's what you got to do. But luckily for me, I got a real job that I'm making real money from. Like, and then yes, this does give me a little bit of money, and it's gonna pay for my Sky tickets, which is great. But like, you can't make it a career if you give people the truth in a reasonable way, because people don't want it. Y'all want it, but most people don't want it. They say they want it, but then they click on all the rage baity stuff. They click on all the horrible stuff. They click on all the lies, and they know it's lies, but they still want to click on it and watch it. So, you know, it is what it is. But guys, that's why I am content, because, yeah. But anyway, guys, I don't know. William, you got me on a huge tangent. Man, you got me on a ginormous tangent of something that I wasn't even going to talk about. But anyway, that's kind of it. Y'all heard my alarm go off. I got to go to sleep soon. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Allison says media junk food to feed their personal echo chamber. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Because it actually makes people feel better. I truly believe it's a psychological thing that sometimes people they feel like they don't have control over what's happening in their life. Maybe stuff is going on and they feel like they have zero control at all in their life. But what you do have control over is your anger. And I think that it makes people feel powerful to go to click on rage baity stuff and rage out in the comments and be like, oh, this is why it's so terrible and blah blah blah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that I think it actually I think some people do it because they really want to feel power, and your anger is powerful. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. So powerful. And I think if you get stuck in that echo chamber, it feels good to be that angry, but eventually that stuff, it consumes you, man. It consumes you. And you're just angry all the time, and like, God, like, man, what kind of life is that? It's not cool. It's not cool. But anyway, guys, that's the stream. Guys, I am tired. I need to go to sleep. So I am going to go to sleep. Thank y'all for watching. Sorry for the rambly, scatterbrained, whatever we want to call this for this stream. This was kind of off the rails of a stream, but sometimes we got to have random conversations like this. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I really do. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button on y'all way out. Guys, have a fantastic evening. Guys, I've started to say this in a lot of my videos, and I say it because I just see so much toxicity in the world, and I really do, truly, when I say that, I really do want you to do this. Please be nice to someone. Tell somebody that they matter, because they do. All right, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.